Hey guys, welcome to our tutorial on how to make a simple clock.
Please like and subscribe if you found this video helpful.
And leave a comment on any suggestions for future videos.
Now let's get into it. Our lesson objectives for today, we are going to be going over JFrame and how to create a clock using real time. JFrame is a window in a swing program, a part of Java Swing, which allows you to build GUIs. We are going to use JFrame to display our clock along with the real-time date. We use JLabels inside the JFrame to display information, and in this scenario, we use JLabel to display the time and the date. Timer delay is a function which is meant to update the clock in real time. Local time is a function that brings you the current time. Local date is also the function that will bring you the current date. On to the next part of the tutorial.
The first thing that we need to do is create a Java project. And just a simple Java project. And I'd like to name it clock for simplicity. And in this, we would like to change this again to clock, just so we know what these are for. And we also need a new file for where we write our code for the JFrame. We can call that my JFrame. And in our clock file, all we got to do is call an instance of our my JFrame. I'd like to create a constructor for our my JFrame class, and by doing so you can just JFrame, and we also need to access JFrame, which we can do by extends JFrame, and here's the import right here. And inside this I already have a default layout for my window. Over here we just need a this is for a flow layout. So over here, this is when you exit the window, it exits the program. This is a title for the window. This is the size of the window. You can choose whatever you want. I prefer 200 by 300. And here's a flow layout, which we use for the center alignment of what we're adding and just spacing. There's many different layouts you can follow. I just use this one. And the first thing we like to do is actually just create our JLabels, which would be one for the clock. And we also need one for the date. And we'd like to initialize these two things. So and you'd also like to add these to our actual window. And do the same thing for the date. Now what we'd like to do is add a method to update the clock and date. And we could just call that update. And inside this, what you want to do is get the local time. So this is the time as of right now. And we like to put that inside a string so we can display it. And for our pattern, we'd like to display it with the hour, the minute, and the second. And we also put A, and this tells us whether it's AM or PM. And we'd like to add that string to our clock label. And we're just doing the same thing for the date. So instead of like local time, it would be local date, today's date. And same thing, just add a string. But for this one, our pattern is going to be different. Our pattern is actually going to be the year, the month, and the day. And we're just going to add that to date label. And now what we want to do is create a timer that updates every second. And inside that timer, we're going to add our update function. So we get the real time updating on the window. And in that timer, we'd like to add a delay of 1,000, which is 1,000 milliseconds, which equates to 1 second. And for this event, for every event, we need to call the update function. And we're also going to need to import that. For the import, we are going to use import. There we go. And now we're just going to start the time. And now all we got to do is call the update function initially, and set this program to visible. Now when we run the program, we should be able to see the real date and the current time. Oh, and it appears to show just the time. So if we just check back right here, we can see that I mislabeled this. It should be date label. And when we press save and rerun it, now it shows our current time and the current date. Clock looks very simple, but we can add some quick changes that can make it look presentable and way nicer. So to do that, we can actually change the layout to a box layout, which we do by adding new. And we write this dot get content pane, and then over here and this would be the y-axis. And this switches to a vertical layout, and so we can stack the components top to bottom. And what we can also do is set our text color to something else. So for our clock label, and you could do any color. I'm just preferring bright green. For that would be 5 and 0. In addition, we can also set the background color to white. And we need to actually set it to opaque to show. So we do clock label dot set, and we just write is true. And we can also do the same for the date label. We can change it to teal, like a teal, maybe. Again, any color of your preference. It doesn't need to be teal. And again, similar layout. And another thing we can also do is add a black border around both labels just for it to stand out. By that, we just write clock label dot set. And in that, we do border factory dot create line border with any color of your choice. I'm just choosing black. And for the thickness level, you can do, again, your choice. I'm just choosing to do 4. And we'd like to do the same thing for the date. Just a slight little error right over here. We are supposed to add all things before we add this to the screen. And in between these, I like to just add a little spacing just to make it a little nicer, make it a little more neat. And to do that, you just write this dot add create vertical strut with a height of your choice. And in addition, you'd like to align this in the center, align the labels horizontally within the box layout so it looks nice and in the center of your window. Instead of bottom, just write the center. And again, you just like to do that for both date and clock. And to make the date label display more nicer, you can display it with a day and a month name. For example, Monday, May 5th. And to that, you would change the formatting of this to EE. Here. And our final pattern should look like this. This is after all our updates. As you can see, the formatting's better, and you can also change colors, change size and length to your choosing. Okay, and that'll be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy.
Make sure you comment down any suggestions, like, subscribe, and have a nice day.